Hello and welcome to Minigame Monday. Today is Monday, July 21st, 2025. And today we're going to be doing a puzzle made of titles from the January 2025 session of Porterville Online with a word search. So word searches are made up of titles that were actually play tested at the event. They're pulled directly from our Looking for a Game channel. And what I have started doing for these word searches is not sitting and looking for the words myself while I'm showing them, but looking at the words, moving us over to a screenshot of the listing when it was posted for playtesting at Porterville Online, and then asking the tool for a hint to find and select it. But if you find the word before I get to asking for a hint from the tool, you can tell me, it starts in the bottom right corner and goes up or something like that. And I'll take your hint instead of the really obvious hint that the tool gives me if you want to give me hints. I'm also going to, before I get into it, because this is very in the moment news to share, is that we ran Panel Spiel online for the first time last weekend. And it is our 5-year anniversary of having Porterville Online conventions open to the public. That the first one was in July 2020, and the very day that we launched that, we ended up hosting Panel Spiel Online for the first time. So our 5-year anniversary is the launch of a new type of event. And we decided to keep registration open for Panel Spiel after the live speaker talks are over, and add a few live community sessions to unpack the replays of the speaker talks, or even just more for those people who showed up live, more chances to show up and talk to maybe a different group about unpacking what we learned from our speakers. And so we are taking a poll. If you happen to be in our Discord community already, the Clubhouse channel has a poll to pick the first roundtable topic based off of the 4 that we ran, picking the favorite of the 4 to do an encore of. And then we'll do another roundtable to talk about just all the learning and just kind of unpack and share with each other the things that we're taking away from the event. Those will be, no live streams or anything will be involved in those. Those are all in our Discord server, and a backstage pass is needed. So this porterspiel.online/panelspiel link is where you can go to register your backstage pass, get into the Discord server with access to the Panel Spiel areas, and join us for those roundtables, which will be both of them tomorrow, Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And also throughout the day, between those 2 times, I'll be available personally to play BGA games with people in the server, but anybody is welcome to, right this minute, between now and Tuesday night, go in there and post a game that they'd like to play with BGA and look for players to play, possibly even turn-based with them on BGA. Okay, so that's a bigger announcement than I usually give for Minigame Monday. So let's get started about the puzzle itself. All right. Sorry. I need to rearrange my I've had to move my camera over. I need to rearrange my button so I can see past my camera. All right, start. So, antipathy is the first one on the list. Here's the post for it. This one is from Kenneth. Grab a theme deck, shuffle, draw, and play a 5x5 grid and battle for the center line. So it sounds like it's a pretty, it sounds abstract strategy from that description to me. This is not one that I have tried, but this is 2-player only, casual weight game, looking to self-publish, and this one has a link to this. This is optional for posting, but this one did post in the on the website, so it has a website listing too, and that's what this link would be in the live in the Discord server. And also, just as we're looking at all of these, by the way, these are the posts that come into the Discord server after the designer fills a form on our website, and it sends this structured post. So it helps you make the post really easily readable, and the important things that people need to know to decide if they're in for this play test are called out. And some of the things are optional, such as the prototype listing. This can be blank if people don't want to share it publicly on the website and are only posting it inside Discord. It's just these things like this, they will get in more kinds of puzzles in Minigame Monday. Things on the website are featured in crosswords if they add bingo matching details, and featured in jigsaw puzzles no matter what. All right, so back to the puzzle. I'm going to ask for a hint from the assistant. There we go. And on to the next one, Bird Brains. This one's from Chris Leader. This is an example of one posted with giving people a little bit of time to see it and add their thumbs if they're not looking at the server right when it's posted. The last one was an ASAP type playtest. So this kind of highlights that there are two different options for that. This one I have playtested, strict cake taking game, where it has a few bird character cards that have powers, and the goal is to take tricks and also take cards that tell you how you will score the cards that you've won in tricks. So it's got a bit of a give and take of taking goal cards and taking tricks to fulfill those goal cards. Let's see the hint. Great. So there we go. Bread is from Zoe Allred and is something that I have playtested multiple times. It's been around the community for some time and is looking to self-publish with actually I'm trying to remember when Lunar Punk was announced. I feel like it was in the fall, so probably at the time that it was posted in January, this playtest was posted, it was set as something to be posted under Lunar Punk Games, which is a brand Zoe has started with Matthew Hawker. So this one was looking for unguided playtests and feedback on graphic design at this point in January, and it is a multi-victor game where everybody is individually seeking to win or to succeed, I guess, at the goal of surviving, and it's possible for everybody to survive or nobody to survive as they seek out keeping enough bread to survive through a unrest and stuff. There we go. Counterpoint is from Ted Schaller, and this one is another one that I have playtested, also a trick taker. The world is looking for the next great chamber music ensemble. Navigate challenging scores and become a master of the chamber music repertoire in this cooperative trick-taking game for 3 to 6 players. It has really fun anthropomorphic animals as musicians, holding like classical musicians holding classical instruments. And you know, the details are a little fuzzy. I'm going to hesitate to say details of how it's played, other than just it was memorably fun. But among all the different trick takers and such, I'm worried I'll get it confused with other things that I've played since then. I think it was in January that I played it, but it has there definitely is a trying to guess at what you'll be able to do element. Oh, and I just remembered that I usually give y'all the puzzle to solve yourself and highlight it in the comments. So let me give that to you too, if you would like to visit this puzzle or share it with your friends, especially, you know, if you're featured in it. go ahead and do that. All right, back to the puzzle though. Counterpoint hint. And Darmok Americana, let's see that one. This one is not one that I've play tested. This one's from Jack. It's map navigation via esoteric American concepts. Very good. I wonder, at Panel Spiel, Jack shared their screen to show something, a game that they were trying to decide how to change the prototype to make people follow it better. And I think it might have been this game, but I didn't know what it was called because it had this concept kind of sounds like what I was looking at there. But this one has no plan to publish. So that's also an example of you can communicate that with people, like how far along you are. You communicate that it's assigned with a designer or with a publisher. And so advice for getting a publisher is not needed. And you kind of know that in advance by checking the playtest posting before you get started. Let's see where that one is. There we go. Oh, oops. Oh, I had one more A. There we go. I think Darmok is a Star Trek reference, but I wonder. I think it would make sense, right? Because Darmok is quite a. I don't know. I think it's very much in the Star Trek zeitgeist as just. It's a zany, goofy episode, but also kind of heady and thinky in that it's about meeting an alien that, even though they have a universal translator, that anytime they meet aliens, they hear each other in a language they understand. This alien doesn't talk in sentences. They communicate in a different way. They only can communicate concepts through telling stories. So it's something where it makes sense if it's about communicating in a archaic way that Darmok would be talking about Star Trek. It can't be a coincidence, right? This is Draconian from Brooks Barber, which I don't think I played. I think I played this in May more recently. Oh, look at me. Actually, this is the link from May. I can see it here, right? Where that one says January. I made a little mistake. So this slide is a mistake in my screenshot. It certainly was posted in January if it's in this puzzle. But so this is how it was in May, and it's going to be in the May puzzles when those come out. But it says the Dragon King's power is crumbling, and the lords are circling to usurp the throne. A pressure-luck game of political influence and intrigue. Can you overthrow the king or foment a rebellion? And you pick your faction that you want to be, I believe, secretly. In the time that I think I play tested this actually twice in May, and Brooks had made a change between. So at least 3 players needed here, and open to either self-publishing or looking for a publisher. Let's see. Draconian. There we go. Embers of the World Fire. This one is from Blake Schumacher. Fight for the Embers of the World Fire in this 2 to 4 player miniatures brawler. First to channel 6 embers into your soul wins. This is testing base mechanics as of January, and this game is very early in development, much subject to change. Great kind of information for a designer to be sharing up front and before a playtest. 2 to 4 player, and designer could play if needed. About a 50-minute game with all of the pieces, and planning to self-publish. There we go. One of those long names, not the longest name that defines the size of this puzzle, but Following Leaves. I've played mini games in this series that Jonathan is making of kind of a classic card game for each season of the year. So this is the fall one. I've played the winter one that's called Melding Snow, and Climbing Vines is one for spring or / summer. I don't know if he's decided which is which, but I don't think I've played Following Leaves. So it's a trick-taking game where each trick offers different rewards, incorporates push your luck elements in addition to card play to take some tricks and dodge others. Testing for game pacing when tested in January, and is looking for a publisher. Nearing completion on this one. Following Leaves. All right. Greedy Gourmands. That is posted by Eric Dittmore. Grab handfuls of food and trade bites with your friends to satisfy your appetite. Multiple victors can eat and satiated. Don't overeat though, trying to see if this is anything. And this is an example of what happens when a designer has made a diary in our Discord server. So we have a diary forum in our Discord server, which anyone who gets a pass to Panel Spiel or a badge for Protospiel Online, once they become either of those things, can make you an alumni in our Discord server. And current attendees and alumni have access to create diary posts, and everybody has access to talk to people who have posted diary posts in those posts. So to message in that post. So this is one benefit of making a diary post. You can add your direct link to your diary post in your post for playtesters, and then when people wish they got to play it but they didn't get to, they have a place to go in our server to mention you or just say hello and say, this game sounds interesting, I hope I get to play it later somehow, and just get in touch with each other. Greedy Gourmands. Okay, Hold'em Havoc. This is posted by Taryn Harmon Walker. Hold'em Havoc is a competitive poker variant with collectible suits where players may give up information about their hand for one of 4 special actions based on the suit of their cards. Short and casual or harder modes available. Mostly I'm looking for whether the flow timing of this game feels right. Open to either self-publishing or looking for a publisher at the time in January. I feel like I saw some scuttlebutt news about this, but I'm not going to say because I can't remember really fully, but I think it might have gotten to a next step in its journey to publication. At least 3 players needed in final testing. There we go. Intrusion Confusion. This one I play tested in January. This is one of our regular Minigame Monday chat attendees, Croy. This was looking for an unguided rule book for 4 players and want to make sure we can do the new orientation, which is like the tutorial first, tutorial / setup kind of round of the game that gets everybody started playing. And it's a heavy game. And I might say it's heavy to get into, but it's not gargantuan either. It's a social deduction game and very puzzly. It's a very puzzly social deduction game. It has sort of a spatial hex movement puzzle that, most of you are trying to get the bad things into one section, but you might have a trader who's trying to get the bad things out of that section. Yeah, and Intrusion Confusion is a great name for that game. It is. It comes to the point where only one time can anything be peeked at, and then you can mark it as what it is, but you might be lying, and the confusion that creates is pretty funny. Okay, Let's Split Dad's Estate is from Grant Van Nostrand, which I think has come back. This was its name in January. I think it's been renamed and rethemed, but it's a spatial puzzler. Earn money by collecting stuff and throwing it in a shared truck. Might try a 3-player chaos mode. So this was a 2 to 3 player game looking for a publisher, or a play test requesting 2 to 3 players. That's, I guess, worth mentioning too in this example. That we're in these examples that we're seeing of what the posts look like. When you ask for players, you're not saying that the player range that the game may take. You're saying what you need for this playtest. Loot Box, posted by Nathan Masters. It's a roguelite deck builder with TCG DNA built for competitive play. The game features deep area control strategy with a heavy focus on theorycraft, metagaming, and engine building. We're looking for content testing before presenting to a publisher next weekend. Oh, that was exciting. That happened in January. So this one is one I've play tested more than once too. It's a deck builder with lots of unique cards in a market. Then you kind of go shopping for loot. Like it's a dungeon delving game where your deck is your various loot, and that has different abilities that help you get to take the loot you want from these 3 different rows of dungeon delves, where you'll kind of put some cards in face up and some secretly, and then once there's enough cards between you and your opponent, flip face up and evaluate who gets to take what. So it's a sneaky, bluffy sort of game. And yeah, tactical placement. And there's times where you can add like extra, the card has some inherent ability to get you to be the one who wins sort of the auction of loot. But you also have some abilities that let you add tokens to power up cards later and things like that. Box. Meh. I've not played this. This one's from Patrick Kiefer. Pick a card, give a clue, start a winning streak. Meh is a co-op party game featuring word association, player judgment, and hidden information. Think wavelength or just one. This will be my first test of Perderspiel Online, only second of this game. Oh, wow. Well, I missed it. This is new, so I want to see if there's anything here. What's fun, what's clunky, all that. So I don't know. I'm in suspense. How did it turn out? I wasn't there. You can't be there for all of them. This one probably actually is. I imagine this one, if you were looking for it in the puzzle, would be quite hard to find because it's so short. Let's see, Number Wang is from Cardinal Babakis. Babakitis. I think I read it and I think Babkiss, and I skip a whole syllable when I read it. I haven't heard it said out loud. Number Wing is a very silly trick-taking game. Look at everyone's hand and bid how many tricks you think they will take. Score points if you're right, and even more if they're wrong. And this one is an example of someone choosing in the form, do you want to do an unguided test? And when you do that, it pings the unguided tester role in our server, and that's something that people can add. It's a self-assigned role. Self-assigned, is that the word I use for it? Anyways, it's a role that you can push a button to add or remove in our server from yourself. So you can opt in or opt out of being pinged when somebody wants an unguided test during a Perderspiel Online weekend. There we go. Otter is from Dylan Coyle. Feed hungry otters or save the cute animals from them. It's a shedding game. It's looking for final tweaks and end game feedback as of January. That is. This one might have. I think that this one got released on Kickstarter as part of Microgame May, or it was looking to do that. Again, when I say these things from my memory, I feel like when looking through Microgame May this year, I remember seeing Otter pre-launch early in the stage, and I might not have ever seen it once it had launched. Paws of Anarchy is from Kyle Fishman. As social media famous cats, you are tired of your working conditions. Show your human that you have no master and work together or don't to destroy the house. Trick-taking game that breaks rules with no trump suit, no follow, etc. Cut the game down during. I cut the game down during PAX U to its simplest form, and it was really good. I'm wanting to make sure it wasn't a fluke. This one looking for a publisher, a 3 to 6 game. I like that theme. That's the Spirit is from Connor Wake. You've all accidentally died and one of you is responsible. Trouble is, in your post-death amnesia, you've forgotten what happened, including the killer. Can you figure out who did it without accidentally outing yourself? This one was looking for general feedback. It's going to self-publishing. It was in middling design state. A casual 30-minute game, 3 to 5 player. I think that's a perfect name for that theme. This Is What I Want is from Croy. I keep only saying Croy. I know that's how to pronounce the first name. Last name, Bayarek? I'm not sure. 5 moral issues are up for a vote on the Zeta Corps Council. Influence the council members according to your beliefs. Players win or lose independently. Discover other players' motives and play action cards to assist or hinder them. Looking for, it's in early development, trying to figure out how to make it feel like a game about morality and not personal performance. I think that when Croy has been watching these puzzles, has said, this has a new name, but maybe this might be the new name, and there was an old name too. Tin Punk Alley is from Petros Mizamidius, who's one of our friends from the crew in Greece that are co-designing this game. So Tin Punk Alley is a hidden identity social deduction team game with hand and resource management. We are in a war-torn country after a revolution where different factions are trying to cooperate in order to prevent civil war. Are the rules easy to understand, overall balanced, and willing to play a few rounds, if not the whole game, to get a test? 85 minutes probably if one were to play the full game, and exactly 3 players requested for this foot test nearing completion, and they are self-publishing but open to a publisher, and they have a diary where you can talk about it with them in our server. Yeah, this has some fun art established for it, some good character art for this game. I've also play tested this one. I'm one of the people who's open to social deduction games. I made a few iterations of one of those myself. Probably stopped doing that about 5 years ago. No, yeah. Right before the pandemic, I abandoned that I wanted the thing I was making to be a social deduction game. So it wasn't that is one thing that wasn't the pandemic's fault. It actually just is not the right thing for this game. But Tricks and Treats is from Mark Wilson, light strategy, auction, and set collection game for 3 to 6 players. Collecting too many different types of treats nets negative points, but limited funds makes bidding tricky round to round. Looking to adjust scoring, game flow, and how tense easy are the decision points. A 65-minute game looking for a publisher in middling development and casual audience, built on playingcards.io. Oh, I haven't been really focusing on which platform, but if you are watching along, it tends to be Screen Top is the most popular among our attendees, but that one was a playingcards.io, and that one I would say that is coming into a strong second place. And the more people are talking about some of its features and kind of understanding what it's possible to do with it, I think it might become a popular choice for games that are that have a few enough components and are, especially if they're card based, it's particularly well suited to that kind of thing. And then Untitled Mech Game from Dickie Adams. You are a team of mechs who spend their time challenging and battling arena mechs for fun and profit. Draw cards, search for scrap, and team up to win the fight. Looking for this game is still in its infancy. Looking for a review of the core and start considering various player personal skills and opponent feats. Looking for a publisher, casual 2-player game, 50-minute playtime, and there's a example of Screen Top. And that is our last one. And yeah, you can create your own puzzles of various kinds in this Puzzle Me tool from Amuse Labs. For myself, I've built puzzles in crisscross, word search, jigsaw, and crossword. And these are AI, but they're AI optional, which has made me happy. I would rather bring my own ideas rather than ask for some mishmash. I suppose you can look at a mishmash to get inspired and then not actually just use the mishmash. That's something I know a lot of my entrepreneurial marketer type friends like to do. All right, so let's go to the main screen and just sign off for this week. One more time, I'll remind you that we kept Panel Spiel open a little bit longer than the original July 18th through 19th that we announced. So it is actually absolutely closing on July 22nd after we have a couple of bonus roundtables, only no live Twitch activity, but only inside the Discord server. Those of us who already have our badges and newcomer badge, or I'm sorry, pass holders, backstage pass for Panel Spiel. That's the name we've given it. So people who already have their backstage pass can regather to get a little bit more time together. And people who don't have one yet are welcome to get one and watch the replays or don't, so that you can come to the live stream the roundtable live in the Discord server backstage and visit with the other attendees. And get ready for Protospiel Online right after Panel Spiel access closes in the server. We'll reset it to get ready for Protospiel Online happening at the end of August 22nd and 24th. You came right at the end. I'm on my way out, but thank you for joining and saying hello. And maybe we'll see you next time. I start at the same time every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. But we'll see everybody next time.